Outlander just dropped its official Season 8 trailer, and the moment it starts, you can feel it. This ending isn't coming quietly. Every frame screams that the final chapter is about to break us in ways we're not prepared for. It's almost unreal how quickly everything shifts the second the trailer begins. Like the show is reminding us that even after 8 seasons, Outlander still knows exactly how to grab us by the throat. The first thing that hits you is the atmosphere. Thick, heavy, almost suffocating, like trouble has already moved into every corner of Fraser's Ridge before Jamie and Claire even step foot on screen. And it makes sense, because after everything they survived in Season 7, peace was never going to be their reward. You can literally feel that tension boiling underneath every shot. And it becomes clear that this final season is going to start with the kind of storm that doesn't wait for anyone. But then the trailer hits us with something even bigger: Claire's voice. Every time she speaks in a trailer, you know it's serious. And this time she sounds different, worn down, tired, but still holding that fire she's always carried. And her words instantly set the tone for the entire season. She talks about how danger doesn't always announce itself, how sometimes it slips in quietly and changes everything before you even notice. And as soon as she says that, the trailer cuts to the ridge, and you realize this home they fought so hard for is about to become the center of chaos again. Jamie appears next, and the look on his face says everything we need to know. There's a weight on him that he's never carried before, something that feels bigger than war, bigger than loss, almost like he knows this season is going to test him in a way nothing else ever has. And when the camera follows him walking through the ridge, everything feels off. New people, new faces, new conflict simmering beneath polite smiles. The ridge has changed while he and Claire were gone, and the look they share makes it clear they're both thinking the same thing. This isn't the home we left behind. Then the trailer throws in one of the most chilling moments, a single line, a single warning. Someone tells them the war may be over for the world, but it's not over for you. And the second that line drops, it feels like the entire trailer switches gears suddenly. It's not about adjusting to a changed ridge. It's about survival. It's about secrets. It's about the kind of danger that walks right through your front door and ruins everything you've built. And that's when the pace changes, the editing speeds up. Faces flash across the screen, some familiar, some new, but the expressions are what matter: fear, confusion, determination. Every character looks like they're standing on the edge of something they can't quite see, but they know it's coming. And then comes the shot that everyone is already talking about, the fire. It's quick, almost too quick, but unmistakable. Flames swallowing a building, sparks shooting into the night, shadows running in panic. And if you've read the books, your stomach drops instantly, because you already know what storyline this is teasing. And for everyone who didn't read the books, let's just say, the show is not holding back the heartbreak. But the trailer doesn't stop there. Right after the fire, the screen cuts to Brianna and Roger, and their faces say everything without a single word spoken: fear, shock, helplessness. And this moment confirms something fans have been debating for months. They're back in the past. The trailer doesn't hide it, doesn't tease it, doesn't play games with time travel hints. It shows you straight up, Bri and Roger are here, witnessing something they should have never been near, and that alone changes everything we thought we knew about how this season would play out. Then comes one of the most powerful shots, Claire clutching Jamie's hand, eyes filled with that mix of strength and fear she rarely lets anyone see. And Jamie, who has always been the unshakable force of the show, looks like he's fighting something bigger than any battlefield. That's when you realize this final season isn't just about the Revolutionary War anymore. It's about the fractures forming inside the family, secrets coming out, loyalties being tested, and the ridge, this place they built with their own hands, slowly becoming a battleground all over again. As the trailer progresses, the voiceovers grow heavier. Claire speaks about the cost of protecting the people you love. Jamie talks about sacrifice. Brianna warns that some choices follow you across centuries. And then there's Roger, looking like he's caught between duty and fear, almost as if he's questioning whether coming back through the stones was the right decision at all. The emotional tension rises with every second, and by the time the trailer reaches its midpoint, it's obvious that nobody, absolutely nobody, is walking out of this final season untouched. And just when you think the trailer has given away the worst of it, Outlander does what it always does best. It holds back just enough to keep you guessing. A scream in the dark, a door breaking open, Jamie raising his weapon, Claire holding back tears, a shadow moving through the ridge like a warning, and then, suddenly, the screen cuts to black, leaving you with that familiar Outlander feeling, the mix of dread, excitement, and heartbreak all twisting together. The moment the trailer comes back from that blackout, the energy shifts again, like the show is warning us that the danger we've seen so far is only the surface. And the very first thing we hear is Jamie's voice, low, tense, almost trembling in that way it only does when everything is on the line. He says something about how home isn't just a place, it's the people you fight to protect, and the way he says it feels like he's already preparing himself for a loss he can't stop. You can tell he senses something coming long before everyone else does. And that alone makes the tension hit a whole different level. Then the trailer cuts to the ridge again. But this time we see the side of it nobody talks about: the resentment, the mistrust, the strangers who showed up while Jamie and Claire were gone and carved out power for themselves. It's like the camera is telling us that the real threat isn't outside forces anymore. It's inside the ridge, growing, spreading. And when Claire walks through the settlement, you see it in every face she passes: confusion, hostility, curiosity. People who once treated her like the heart of the community now stare at her, like she's returning to a place that doesn't entirely belong to her anymore, and she knows it. Her eyes say it all. The trailer then throws us into one of the most intense montages of the whole thing: buildings being rebuilt, people arguing, a gun on a table, a map being slammed down, someone shouting that the ridge needs order. And all of this is layered over Claire saying, "Secrets always find their way to the surface." That line might be the most chilling part of the entire trailer because it's not about the war. It's not about politics. It's about the family. And Outlander never drops a line like that unless something huge is about to blow up. Then we get a quick shot of Brianna standing outside in the dark, looking like she's just realized something she shouldn't have. The fear on her face is completely different from the fear at the fire. This isn't panic, this is knowledge, this is awareness. This is Bri finally understanding what coming back to the past actually means, and right behind her, Roger appears, stepping into frame, face tight, shoulders tense, as if he's preparing himself to say something he's been holding in since they came back through the stones. But before anything can be revealed, the trailer jumps again, leaving us hanging. One of the most heartbreaking cuts comes right after Ian. He looks older, heavier, not physically, but emotionally, like he's carrying something he hasn't told anyone yet. His eyes have that same haunted look they carried after everything with Emily. But this time it's different. This time it seems tied to the family. The camera lingers on him longer than usual, which is a big sign that he's playing a major part in whatever storms are brewing this season. And then, out of nowhere, the trailer shows him turning sharply toward a scream in the distance, and that moment alone is enough to make fans start theorizing like crazy. But then the tone changes again. Just for a second, we hear Claire narrating about how love is the only anchor strong enough to survive the winds of time. And over that line, we see her and Jamie together, just standing there looking at each other. No words, no dramatic music, just that look they've shared since season 1. Except now it feels heavier, like they both know this is their last fight, their last chapter, their last test as a couple. And for a moment, the trailer softens, reminding us why this story has lasted 8 seasons. It's not just the time travel, it's not just the history, it's them, asterisk asterisk. But before the emotion can fully settle, the trailer strikes again. A door being kicked open, men shouting, Claire being pulled away by someone, Jamie fighting through a crowd, and it all happens so fast that you can barely breathe. There's one shot so quick you almost miss it, of Claire on the ground, dirt on her hands, tears in her eyes, looking up at someone with pure shock. And the fact that the trailer doesn't show who she's looking at makes it 10 times worse. Because Outlander doesn't hide faces unless it's something huge. Then comes the moment everyone is already dissecting frame by frame: Jamie riding through the woods at night, flames lighting the sky behind him. He looks terrified, not of the fire, but of what he knows is inside it. His horse is racing like he's trying to outrun fate itself. And when he reaches the clearing, you can see it on his face. Whatever he finds, there is something he can't take back. Something that's going to change the entire direction of the season. And right after that gut punch, the trailer cuts to Claire standing beside him, but this time she looks numb, empty. Like whatever she's seeing has ripped her apart in a way even she can't hide. Jamie pulls her close, almost like he's trying to shield her from reality, but she doesn't move, doesn't blink, doesn't breathe. And for the first time in a long time, Jamie looks helpless. Truly helpless, and that alone is enough to send chills through the entire fandom. By the time the trailer reaches the final moments of this section, the tension is almost unbearable. We hear a voice, someone saying, "Everything you built is at risk," and over that line, flashes of chaos erupt across the screen, the ridge in panic, a figure running with a lantern, someone shouting Jamie's name, Claire gripping a medical tool like she's about to fight for someone's life. And just when you think the trailer might give a hint of who's in danger, it cuts again, snatching away every answer right before it lands. The trailer shifts again, and this time the energy feels completely different, like we're stepping into the part of the story where the real fractures start showing. The music drops to a low rumble, almost like a warning. And the first thing we see is Claire standing alone in the woods, no sound, no narration. Just her breathing in the cold air like she's trying to steady herself before everything collapses. And the way the camera lingers on her face, eyes trembling just slightly, tells you this isn't just another threat, this is something personal. Something that's already in motion and can't be undone. Then the scene jumps to Jamie. But not the strong, unshakable Jamie we're used to. He's sitting at a table, staring at a letter like it's the one thing he wishes he never had to read. The candlelight flickers, throwing shadows across his face. And for a moment he looks older, tired in a way that battle scars and trauma never managed to break him. Whatever's written there, it's not news, it's a confirmation. And when he finally looks up, his expression says everything. The past didn't stay buried. And now it's coming for them harder than ever. The trailer cuts right into one of the most intense sequences so far, a group of people gathering outside the ridge, angry voices clashing, accusations being thrown around. Someone shouts that the Fraser family brought danger back with them. Someone else claims they're hiding something. And the way the camera pans across the crowd shows just how divided the ridge has become. This place that once felt like a safe haven has turned into a powder keg. One spark, and it's over. And judging by the trailer, that spark might already be lit. Then we see Brianna again, this time inside the house, pacing like she's trying to talk herself out of a truth she doesn't want to accept. Roger stands behind her, watching her with that same fear from earlier, the fear of someone who came back expecting hope, but found chaos instead. Bri finally turns to him and says something the trailer muffles, almost like they did it on purpose. But you can read her lips if you look close enough. We shouldn't have returned. And the silence that follows that moment feels heavier than any explosion. The next shot pulls us straight into Ian's storyline. He's in the woods, bow in hand, scanning the trees like he's tracking someone. But this isn't a hunt. This is protection, panic, instinct. He's moving fast, breathing hard, eyes locked on something we can't see. And then there's a rustle, a shadow slipping behind a tree, and Ian's entire body tenses. He whispers something in Mohawk under his breath, almost like a warning or a prayer. But before he can react, the scene cuts away again, leaving us on edge. Then we get one of the most emotionally loaded shots of the entire trailer, Claire sitting beside someone who's injured, someone the trailer won't show us. Her hands are covered in blood, her face pale, her voice shaking as she begs them to stay awake. This isn't the calm, controlled Claire we've watched save lives for years. This is a woman who's terrified, a woman who's watching everything slip through her fingers. And the camera keeps the identity of the injured person hidden, making the entire fandom spiral into theories instantly. Jamie enters the scene next, and the expression he wears is pure devastation. He falls to his knees beside Claire, taking her shaking hands into his. And the fear on his face is something we haven't seen since the earliest seasons. The trailer mutes the sound for this moment, letting the visuals carry the weight. But you can tell from the way Jamie's lips move that whatever he says is desperate, pleading. And that silence hits harder than any scream. But Outlander never stays in one emotion too long. The trailer jumps again. And now we see chaos beginning to spill across the ridge, people running, doors slamming, horses breaking free, a lantern crashing to the ground. It's like the entire settlement is unraveling in real time. And the most chilling part, there's no clear villain, no single threat you can point at. It feels like everything is falling apart from the inside, like the ridge itself is turning against the people who built it. Then comes a line from Brianna, this time clear as day. Everything we came back for, it's slipping away, and the way she says it feels like she's speaking for everyone, for Jamie, for Claire, for Roger, for Ian, for fans who spent nearly a decade following this family through every century, every danger, every heartbreak. Her voice cracks on the last word, and that's when the trailer shows Roger stepping forward to pull her into his arms, his own eyes brimming with the realization that the past isn't a homecoming, it's a battlefield. The trailer softens again, but the softness is heavier now. Jamie and Claire stand outside their cabin, looking up at the ridge like they're trying to memorize it one last time. The wind blows, leaves fall, and there's this stillness around them that doesn't feel peaceful. It feels like the moment right before you lose everything. Claire rests her head against Jamie's shoulder, and he closes his eyes, holding her like she's the only thing keeping him from breaking completely. And for a second, you start to realize that this final season isn't just gearing up for emotional pain. It's preparing us for the possibility that this chapter truly ends with sacrifices. No one is ready for . And as the music builds again, the trailer ends this section with a voice stern, quiet, and terrifying in its certainty. The truth is coming, whether you're ready or not. And with that, the screen cuts to black again, leaving us with more questions than answers and a knot in our stomachs that refuses to loosen. When the trailer fades back in, the entire tone feels heavier, like we've officially crossed the line between tension and full-blown danger. The music shifts into something darker and slower, almost like footsteps echoing in a hallway you don't want to walk down. And the first image we see is Jamie standing in a crowded room. But he's not speaking, he's listening, and that's how you know it's bad. Jamie Fraser doesn't stand silently unless he's calculating something life-altering. The camera slides around him and reveals a small group of ridge settlers arguing. Voices sharp, eyes filled with blame, fear, and something far more dangerous, doubt. Doubt toward the very man who built this place. Then the trailer cuts to Claire. And she's facing a different kind of fight. She's outside, staring at the horizon like she's trying to see the future coming for them. Her hands are trembling. Just a little too little for anyone else to notice, but enough for longtime fans to understand the weight she's carrying. Claire's always been the calm in every storm. The one who could push emotion aside long enough to save whoever needed saving. But this time, the storm is coming straight for her family and nothing she does can stop it. You can tell she feels that. The music dips. And suddenly we're thrown into a montage that feels like a warning, a door being slammed, a child crying, men gathering supplies, women packing bags, someone shouting that the ridge won't survive another attack. And even though the trailer doesn't show an enemy approaching, the fear on everyone's faces tells us one thing clearly: this community is preparing for the worst. Maybe it's the fire, maybe it's the rising tensions, maybe it's secrets finally bursting open. Whatever it is, the ridge is bracing for impact. Then we get one of the most chilling cuts, Brianna standing in the doorway of Jamie and Claire's cabin, staring at a map pinned to the wall. Her eyes are locked on a single circle drawn in red, and for the first time since the trailer began, Bri looks genuinely scared, not of danger, but of the truth. She turns to Claire and whispers, "This is bigger than the ridge," and the way Claire stiffens tells us Bri isn't wrong. Roger appears behind them, jaw tight, shoulders squared, like he's ready to say something but stops himself the moment he sees Claire's face. It's the kind of silence that shakes you more than any scream. Then the trailer dives into Ian's storyline again. He's in the woods at night, torchlight flickering across his face. He's speaking to someone the camera refuses to show. His voice is low, rough, almost broken. He says, "You don't understand, they will come for all of us." And the stranger answers with a single line, "Then fight." The moment is so quick but carries so much weight that fans are already speculating about who that shadowed figure could be. A returning ally, a new threat, someone from Ian's past? The trailer gives nothing away, only amplifies the mystery. Down your spine. Because Ian's story has always been about loss, losing love, losing home, losing pieces of himself along the way. So whatever he's looking at now, it's personal, deeply personal. And the silence around him makes it 10 times worse. Then, in classic Outlander fashion, the trailer hurls us into a rapid sequence of moments designed to rip the ground right out from under us. A musket firing in the dark, Claire's hands covered in blood again, Roger shouting someone's name, Brianna running through smoke, Jamie slamming his fist against a wall, Claire collapsing beside someone's bed, tears streaming down her face. Every frame feels like another blow. Another clue that the final season isn't just about an ending, it's about consequences. About everything they've survived finally coming back around. But then comes one of the trailer's quietest and most painful moments. Jamie and Claire sit together at the table, the same table they've shared for years. But this time they're not touching. They're not even speaking, they're just sitting there side by side, staring at nothing. And that silence between them feels heavier than any argument. Then Jamie finally turns to her and says, voice barely above a whisper, "If this is the end, I face it with you." Claire looks at him, eyes softening in that way they always do when he breaks down the walls he never shows anyone else. She reaches for his hand, and when their fingers finally touch, the music swells like the entire trailer has been waiting for that single moment of connection. But Outlander being Outlander, it doesn't let the emotion settle for long. The very next shot shatters it, a figure running through the burning darkness, screams echoing in the background, someone dragging an injured person across the ground, Claire shouting Jamie's name with fear that pierces straight to the bone. And then just for a split second the trailer shows a silhouette collapsing to the ground. We don't see who it is, we don't hear their name, but the impact is instant. The screen fades to black before we can process it, leaving only the sound of crackling fire and Claire's trembling breath. Then, in one final gut punch, the trailer gives us its last line. Jamie's voice, steady, strong, but threaded with heartbreak, says, "Every story has an ending, but love endures." And the second he finishes that line, the screen flashes with a single haunting image, the Fraser home standing in darkness, the doorway glowing faintly like a memory trying to hold on even as everything else falls apart. The music fades, the screen goes silent, and that's it. That's how the trailer ends. No answers, no explanations. Just a lingering dread that this final season will test every bond, every belief, every sacrifice this family has ever made. Outlander isn't just closing its final chapter, it's preparing to break us before it lets us go. And honestly, after 8 seasons with these characters, maybe that's exactly how it's supposed to be.